Well, how about that for playoff basketball? Whoa! Double overtime here in Toronto, and the Toronto Raptors make it a series, winning 118-112 in double OT. Third overtime game of these playoffs, the first overtime game in the Eastern Conference, and the first double overtime game in Toronto Raptors playoff history, and it ends their way, 118-112. Welcome to Inside the NBA, presented by Kia. Let's jump in right to the highlights, because it's about a 17-minute highlight package, I believe.
I go Shaq before the game, y'all.
Yeah, there we are.
Marc Gasol showed up tonight. Way to step up, Marc.
All you got to do is be aggressive.
Don't turn down any open shots, Kenneth Taylor.
Don't turn them down. You got to be able to take them or create. He created early.
That was a Siakam sighting today, something we hadn't seen since Boston.
There was a Gasol sighting.
25 and 11. And Toronto out to that 16-5 lead.
He's the happiest person in Canada for missing them 2 free throws.
Yeah, missed 3 out of 4 in one stretch.
Well early.
Yes, he did.
There go my man Norman Powell.
He had 19.
Way to hook a brother up.
End of the first quarter, it was 30-21.
Nope, that's 2.
Whatever.
Euro step.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sit down, Jeremy.
No, feel free to put Jeremy Lin in the game, Coach.
No, I don't think so either.
Kyle Lowry hits the 3, 48-37.
Can't keep riding a dead horse, Shaq.
Malcolm Brogdon as Milwaukee gets back in it. He's played well the whole series, man. Bledsoe, what you gonna do?
Yes.
Jacket. 4-point game.
Reggie mentioned this in the game that we don't like Bledsoe shooting that 3.
Well, unless they go in.
And there's Serge Ibaka late in the half, so they're up 58-51 at halftime.
Man, this was a gut-check win.
Yes, it was.
Siakam over the freak.
I'm proud of that kid for stepping up in a must-win game.
All you got to do is play aggressive when you're down. That's it.
Marc Gasol, nice look to Siakam.
Play aggressive, getting that rhythm, shots like that to go down.
Bucks. Pat Connaughton gives it to George Hill.
Another guy who played well.
George Hill, man.
He almost made the biggest shot of the game, that 20 from the corner.
24 and 7 for George Hill.
Oh, block it. Get it back.
Kawhi.
Get the ball to the sideboard.
85-77. It was not close to over.
I'm going to start calling him a sideboard, Shaq.
George Hill right there.
Play right there.
George Hill was fantastic tonight.
Game tied at 88. Fred VanVleet. That's his only bucket.
You have to go deep in the highlights to find the one shot he made.
Yeah, and it was big at that time. Then the game's tied at 91 again. And
there go that sideboard again.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Middleton.
Nice play, Brogdon.
That was
To
a good move right
Brogdon.
there to get that 2 for 1.
Yeah, Middleton, this is a good play here, but it wasn't in Middleton was not himself today. He
know,
was not himself.
Ties the game at 96.
Well, do you think
that's the end of regulation?
Having the guard, Kawhi, is taking some out of him?
No
Well,
doubt.
they also put Brogdon on Kawhi down the stretch, so it's not an excuse.
Danny Green.
Well, that's something you don't see.
Yeah, that was his bucket of the game.
No, Reggie and Chris did a great job talking about offensive rebound.
This
George.
I thought this was the play of the game right here, but they didn't. If they had won the game, but here go that man.
101-99, and that one's going to roll in. 4-point lead.
Kenny, does it remind you of one of them old school players in the park that you just can't stop?
You can't stop.
Game tied at 103, but Leonard.
I don't know what the hell Marc Gasol was doing. He came up there and bought Giannis over.
He reminds me of a new school player that can't stop.
103 apiece going to second overtime.
That's a charge.
When Giannis
That's a charge.
fouls out.
That's not a block. This is a charge.
That's
a charge.
That's a charge right there.
It's called a block. He fouls out.
I guess we bought them Virginia Auburn refs up here.
36 seconds into the second overtime that happens. Gasol bangs another 3.
In rhythm, just let it go.
This was huge. Bledsoe turns it over.
Look at this sideboard coming through
the other way.
Took off from the baby dots, didn't he?
I'll tell you what, man. He did not look comfortable and still
willed his team.
Should have been a double dribble there, but they didn't call it.
Come on, we don't call double dribbling traveling the NBA. What do you think you are?
Every now and then you do.
Well, we couldn't
look at this here, man.
We couldn't even see the ball with inside his big hands, so they didn't know if it was double dribble.
I mean, this guy, he was not going to let his team lose tonight. one of the most impressive games I've ever seen a guy have. Look at this, man. Get off me, little fella. He was not going to let them lose, Ern. That was incredible.
118, 112. The final is Toronto. Ooh. Toronto wins it by 6, and they make it a series in double overtime. Kawhi Leonard, 36. He's had at least 30 in all 3 games. Milwaukee hadn't given up 30 to anybody in these playoffs, but then Kawhi's done it in all 3 games. 118, 112. Marc Gasol, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 4 threes, and a post-game visit here to Inside the NBA. Marc, thanks a lot for making the time. We appreciate you. Nice going tonight, man. You had to have it.
Yeah. After a tough game too, personally, you wanted to come out and get rid of the bad taste that you had of, pretty much stick to your stomach for 48 hours. So, yeah, happy.
Marc, were you mad that you didn't play well, or are you mad because you weren't aggressive?
Both. Okay. You look back at tape and you're like, okay, I should have been aggressive here. I wasn't. And then the time you were aggressive, I was misreading the situation and rushing some shots. So I'm happy that we won tonight and get back into the series.
Listen, everybody knows you're a nice guy. I think the reason you're not being aggressive because you want to fit in. We know you're a great passer as a big man. You don't want to do too much, but we saw tonight that when you're aggressive and you just let it go, you're Marc Gasol, you will score at least 60, 70% of the time.
Yeah, you're right. Trying to find my plays on the floor, but first I got to look at the basket and be aggressive. That's what my team needs, and I was happy to be able to help tonight.
So we saw you do it. So is that the why? Is that the why? That's how you change your being aggressive to non-aggressive. Is that the why?
That's what the team needs, and I'm a team guy, obviously, but what the team needs you to be aggressive. You have to be aggressive because it's being selfish by being too unselfish sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I used to say this to some of the guys on the team, the younger players. I said, you could be selfish by trying to get an assist, and I think that at times you were getting assists, but being selfish instead of going for the shot, which is actually yours.
So let me ask you this question also: how weird is it to chase a 7-foot guy who really only shoots threes? Because last year against Embiid it was more banging, but what's the difference and the difficulty you're having? Because this guy never goes in the post really.
Yeah, he normally doesn't. He's out there for a reason. He can make a lot of shots. I mean, he can change the game like we saw on game 1. It's the game plan is different. You got to be inside, obviously helping on Giannis, and he puts a lot of pressure on us. And then you got to build out and take away his shot. And it's multiple efforts.
Marc, there was a lot of talk in between games 2 and 3 from Nick Nurse about possibly changing the starting lineup, and your name came up in the middle of that. Obviously, was there discussion? Did you talk to Nick Nurse? What was going on? And did you know you were starting? When did you know you were starting in this game today?
Thankfully, I don't read or watch TV or I'm not on social media, so I don't know what guys talk about. So I was just focusing on what I had to do to help my team win. That's all I worry about.
Are you saying you don't watch our show?
Not
it's like the only one you do watch.
I'll put it on mute. I'm sorry.
So
hey, I do the same thing.
So what's
when
the
I'm
mindset
here.
of the team now? I know it's tough going down 2 of their plays. You get a tough double overtime game. So what's the mindset of the team now?
The same like we had on game 3. It's, for us, you got to protect home court. You can't lose game 4. It's a must win for us.
Hey, let me ask you about Kawhi Leonard, because Kristen Ledlow talked to him after the game, asked him how he was feeling because it looked like something wasn't quite right, and he's saying, look, it's the playoffs. But did he look like himself to you? Did it look like he was struggling a little bit physically?
Obviously, when he was trotting, it looked like he was limping a little bit. But when he had to make plays, he put it all out. And, and defensively, that steal that he had on the handoff, that was a game for us.
Well, I know the Currys get a lot of attention for being in the Western Conference Finals, but the Gasols are in the Eastern Conference Final. One is hurt.
Yeah, I know.
When do you guys communicate as brothers since he's hurt?
Exactly. We do because he's hurt. He don't get to play. So,
okay. If he wasn't hurt, you wouldn't talk to him.
Probably won't.
Well, who buying dinner tonight?
oh, he's still in Milwaukee. He cannot fly yet.
Okay.
So
Isn't-
I'm saving that one.
Isn't there part of you that wishes he were
Of course.
up to speed so you guys could be at this stage
of
sharing
course.
it together?
Of course. But he's here in a way. He's here all the time. He's a great example for me. He's always been a great guy, and I'm just trying to be his team now.
Hey, it's a 2-1 series. Nice going tonight, man. So,
Thank you so much.
Muchas gracias, amigo.
De nada.
Me llamo El Padrino Negro.
El bandolero.
That's right, Chuck. I know Spanish.
Adios.
I'm telling you, man. Hey, Megatron.
He calls Chuck calls him the cyborg.
That's the cyborg
Marc.
they got out there, man. This dude, unbelievable.
Coming back with more on Inside in just
No,
a
that wasn't
second.
double dribble.
It's a 2-1. That's a 2-1.